At the outset, I congratulate Ms. Nath and others for having this meaningful interaction. I must make it clear, my party, the CPI, has been supporting the farmer struggle since the beginning. Our Kisans, our agricultural workers, they are also part of this movement, and all those class and mass organizations led by my party people are extending their support, solidarity, and party has been very much involved in the solidarity activities all over the country. As political party, we have demanded the repeal of these three agricultural laws. And we continue to support the farmers who are fighting against these laws. In fact, during Parliament last session, not the last session where these laws were enacted, our party opposed and our party voted against. And in Rajya Sabha, there was no vote also. That is another tragedy, because I see Manoj Jha sitting and he knows what happened those days in Rajya Sabha. Friends, as far as the parliament session is concerned, it is not a new demand. Even before the farmers' struggle began, there was a demand that there should be a special session of the parliament to address the issues concerning Indian agriculture. As far as I am concerned, my party is concerned, ever since the neoliberal economic policies were introduced and implemented, Indian agriculture continues to be in crisis, deep crisis. Agrarian distress has become unprecedented. When farmers were committing suicide, Mr. Vajpayee was the chief prime minister. Vajpayee government claimed India shining. Now we have Mr. Modi as the prime minister. There is a tendency to attribute all credits to Mr. Modi. Some survey has come during COVID-19. He has done great job and he must be praised to the sky. But those people who do this, or I take the name, the BJP RSS combined, should talk about where does India stand as far as Human Development Index is concerned. Where does India stand as far as the hunger index is concerned? So we are witnessing an unprecedented inequality in the country. I am not speaking about the unprecedented inequality among the nations. Within our own nation, unprecedented inequality. The present government has been serving the interests of corporate houses, big business houses. What is the primary objective of these three agriculture laws? Nothing but to serve the interests of corporate houses and making Indian agriculture as a corporatized one. And it is known to all farmers, whether they are small, marginal, or medium or rich, all agree. The government is pushing corporatization of agriculture. Government is handing over agriculture to big corporate houses like Adani's, Ambani's. And the way the Adani's, Ambani's came out with statements uh, trying to hoodwink the farmers, one should understand what is behind. So the cat is out of the bag, and Modi government is committed and determined to serve the interests of corporate houses. And I make it very clear. And parliament session, yes, there should be parliament session. And many people keep talking about MSP and Swaminathan Commission's report. And I had the opportunity to be in parliament when he was also in parliament. That way, we were colleagues in parliament, Mr. Swaminathan and myself. And I have great regard for Mr. Swaminathan. But the way Mr. Modi says, oh, yeah, all the recommendations of Swaminathan Commission have been implemented, it is lie, total lie. People should understand. Otherwise, why farmers come to the Delhi borders in this shivering cold? Why they are fighting and why they are agitating? This should be understood. It is not only question of MSP. I have written in Indian Express on these three laws, why we are demanding the repeal of three laws. I have spoken about the conditions of agricultural laborers, conditions of rural poor, because this is going to have disastrous impact on food security of the country, on public distribution of this country. Everything I've written in one piece in Indian Express. Now I must point out certain other things. The parliament itself is becoming redundant. That is what should worry everybody, every concerned citizen. Parliament is the supreme institution in, and parliament represents the will of the people of the whole country. Parliament represents the whole nation with all its diversities. But today, parliament is made redundant. If at all parliament is used, that is used to implement the agenda of a particular political force, that is BJP, RSS combined. And the way they use parliament, now many things I can raise. The new education policy. What is this new education policy? Nothing but centralization, commercialization, and communalization. And these three laws, they got passed in parliament. There is a tendency of centralization of power in the hands. And that leads to, finally now, we are hearing one nation, one election. It went through one nation, one culture, one nation, one religion, then one nation, one tax, GST. And now one nation, one election. This is what I am saying. India is not a monolith, and India is a plural democracy, multi-party democracy. This is being undermined by the present dispensation regime. And I am asking, raising the question in related to agriculture. We have a huge rural poor population, but earlier we had certain targeted schemes for agricultural workers, tribal people of our country. There was tribal subplan. Where is that tribal subplan? There was special component plan for Dalits. What happened? Planning Commission was dismantled. Niti Ayog has been constituted. This Niti Ayog has taken up the job to privatize everything and privatize all public sector undertakings and making the government to abdicate its responsibility. That is what is happening. I myself raised several times in parliament, there should be central legislation for the welfare, for the security of agricultural workers, tribal people. it was not considered at all. And now all those targeted plans have gone. Niti Ayog is ruling this country. That is why we have come to a critical stage in our democracy. And now we will have to think how to fight this present regime and how to force this present regime. Good, the farmers have come together and
Yes.
they are fighting despite whatever indictments the Supreme Court makes about the present government. Farmers understand what is going on. That's why they say we are here and we want the government to understand our position. Government should repeal all these laws and we are with farmers. And of course, the parliament is going to meet, whether it is a special session or not. It is a budget session, and I hope the members of parliament will raise this issue and force the government to repeal these laws in the interest of the nation, the interest of the country. So our party stands for having a special session or even in the present session to discuss these matters, agrarian crisis in detail, and in particular to repeal these three laws to begin with.
Yeah.
That's my position.